Hi there, and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name's Richard, and in this video we're going to do a little night flying, a short little trip. And let me show you the plan here. Okay, so the plan is this. We're at the Myrtle Beach International Airport here. We want to get home to our Grand Strand Airport, and I'm using ForeFlight to do that because I can do this, which is ForeFlight can take as input the VOR plus a radial plus a DME that gives me this fix here. This first fix is a GPS fix off of the end of the Myrtle Beach International Airport, and then obviously the last thing is landing here at Grand Strand. So this is the VOR we're going to follow. We've got a radial 043. We take off of Myrtle Beach, intercept this radial, come inbound, and note that the radial and the 043 and the runway heading, which is 055, don't match. And so we'll do a little jog before we land. Alright, we're done with that. Okay, I think everything's ready. A little last minute check. All the checklist items have been completed, and we are set to take off in the nighttime, which is always a challenge. Here we go. Okay, brakes are being released, and I will slowly add some power to get the nose wheel straightened back out. Okay. And as we add power, we'll try to drive it straight down the runway. Now, straight down the runway is just following the end light markers down there. And here we go. And we are airborne. Okay. Flaps are going up. Alright. And we're going to turn on the heading hold and the vertical speed hold, and away we go. Alright, so we're airborne. We'll get back in here. Can't see much outside, so I might as well use a better view of this. And you can see we're climbing at 1,000 feet per minute. We're going to level off at 1,700 feet. Airspeed is getting up there. I'm going to go ahead and pull the power back. You can see the RPM gauge going back to 2,400 thereabouts, and I'm going to pull the manifold pressure off the stop probably to about 26 or 7, and that'll keep our airspeed below 100 knots until we level off. Okay, 1,300 for 1,700 feet, 98 knots is just fine. We're gonna not lose too much airspeed here. We want to keep close to 90 knots because we're gonna put we'll put a flap down fairly soon here. We're leveling off. Power's coming back to about 20, 18, maybe 19. Well, let's go back to 18. As we level off, we'll go into the VOR here. And as you can see, I don't know if I turned a little late or not, but the VOR is slightly off. I'm going to change my heading bug to re-intercept the VOR course there. Okay, 13 miles out, 1,700 feet, and in we come. Power's coming back to about probably even 14, about there, to let the airspeed drop. Autopilot will hold my altitude till I get the airspeed back below 90 knots, and then I'll hold it with the manifold pressure. 2370 RPM is just fine. Manifold pressure about 14 inches until we get to the airspeed we want. Okay, now that we're on the VOR course again, I'm gonna the VOR course is 043. So I got off the approach plate right here. That's off the approach plate. My heading is 042, and it gives me a slight intercept to the left. Okay, airspeed still coming back to 90. 11.5 miles out. Let's take a look for the runway. Oh, I see the runway. Very good. Can't do as much good watching it now. We got to watch the VOR and the airspeed and all kinds of stuff. So this is like flying IFR. In fact, night VFR is more or less IFR flying, because when you look outside like that, you don't see much of anything worth. You don't even have a horizon. So we'll keep our head in the bag here, or the hood, some people call it. Okay, 10 miles out, airspeed getting down to 90, not quite fast enough. I'm going to pull it back to a little below 13 inches of manifold pressure, get it below 90, and then hold it by pushing the manifold pressure, which is controlled by the throttle, up a little bit to hold about 89 or 90 right there. Okay. Okay, just like any approach here, we are on final, and got to correct over here a little bit. Keep the VOR on course, and it's probably an okay time to put down the first click of flaps. We're 9 miles out. I like to do this in stages and let the airplane stabilize. It has to go up. Autopilot recorrects it, and it goes back down, and then it levels off back to 1,700 feet. Airspeed will be a little bit lower because a flap is down, so I'm going to push the manifold pressure back up, probably 15 or something like that. Okay. Now we may want to look outside again. Let's do this. Okay, so there's the runway. We see we have to jog. I'm going to start a jog over that way. Okay, so I'm going to turn my heading bug about 10 degrees this way. Don't lose sight of the runway, and we'll come in like that. And as the runway gets aligned, we'll turn our heading back. Okay, we are 7 miles out. We don't need the second click of flaps in yet. I still see red pappy lights. You can look over here and see red pappy lights. Okay, got a bit of crosswind. I can live with that. We'll have to note the crosswind as we get a little closer. Okay, coming over to the runway. Airspeed's 82. And watching the pappy lights start to turn white. We've got 4 pappy lights there. I want 2 whites before I start my descent. Okay, I got 1 PAPI light turning white. I'm going to turn back to 055. Maybe 052 because of the winds. We'll see. Okay, it's time to put a second click of flaps in as we're getting close to the glide slope according to the PAPI lights. Okay, we'll have to add power here. I want to hold about 70 knots, and as the nose comes back up, that's looking good. Okay, we're still aligning and correcting. I'm going to turn the vertical speed hold on. Okay, and we're going to lower the altitude bug to, don't need 0, but 100 will do. Okay, and power needs to go in. We're a little low, but we're also going to put in about 400 foot per minute rate of descent. There we go. And hopefully that'll hold the PAPI lights to where I like it. Airspeed back, power back. Want to hold about somewhere between 70 and 75 this far out. Still got a correction in to align with the runway, put a little bit better correction in. Wind is still from the pretty much a 5-knot crosswind, so we'll take care of that with a bit of heading correction. Okay, I'm going to go 1 more click down to 500 feet per minute. And there we go. Alright, that's looking better. 4.5 miles out. That's to the VOR, by the way. So it's probably only about 4 miles final. Okay, heading is aligning better. 1 or 2 clicks of the heading bug keep us aligned. 2 red, 2 white VASIs is okay. I'm going to raise from 500 back to 400 our vertical speed and hold that as we come in. Airspeed's looking good at 69. Don't want to get it below 65, and that's looking fine. Okay, passing 1,000 feet. We're looking for 500 feet. Somewhere below 500 feet, I will take manual control and land. Okay, 2 red PAPI lights, I guess that is. Yep, so we're right on glide slope. Airspeed's
2 mile final runway 05.
Okay, that was ForeFlight telling me we're on a 2 mile final. Alignment's looking good. 1 click of the heading bug. So glide slope's looking good. The airspeed is looking good. And the alignment's looking good. We're right on course. Right on glide slope. Okay. Less than 3 miles now. Getting down to 500 feet. Okay. ForeFlight will warn me of 500 feet. A little more alignment. Looks like the wind is blowing me a little this way. 1 click of heading bug. Get us back over there. .65 airspeed is fine. 2 PAPI lights will do for now.
500.
There's 500 feet. Okay, so it appears as though the alignment is going to, we'll have to land with a slight crosswind, obviously. At night, that should be a bit of a challenge, but we shall see. Okay, we're slightly drug in. I want to add a bit of power. And reduce the rate of descent. Okay, that's far enough. I'm going to turn the autopilot off and fly it in. Here we go. Okay, not change a lot. Airspeed can come back a little, or power can come back a little to drop the airspeed a little bit. The crab is looking good. We're getting over to the runway, but the crab will have to be in there till we land. Okay. Alright, that's looking better. Airspeed is fine. A little extra airspeed in a crosswind situation is not a problem. Just going to fly it right on. 60 knots of airspeed before we touch down. Okay, here we go. Starting my flare slowly. Idle power. Okay, on the ground. How's that? Nice landing. Okay. On the center line. Braking. Rolling to a stop. Alright, we're going to leave it here on the runway. Taxiing in the dark, I'll get back to a view like this, and that makes it easier to taxi in. But you've seen me taxi in before. Nighttime is really no different. Okay, I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more videos.